Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Drinks all around.
All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right. Cool.
What's going on, guys? Why? What's going on, guys? My name is Seth, and this is the OpTic topic. Jordan and Ben here. What's up, guys?
Yo.
So,
All right, it's right around Christmas time, and we are going to be wrapping up the last couple bits of the year. Everything that's happening going into the 2018 season. So we got a couple things on the agenda. Finally, just got the League of Legends roster announced. We had some of the Overwatch preseason matches going on. We got started to see how that was. Obviously, the MLG Dallas happened with COD, and I believe Gears was also at Dallas. And obviously,
different weekend, but yeah.
yeah. And then the CS team had an event too. All these are pretty big. Obviously, we're going to talk about some problems with especially one team that everyone's really concerned about. But without further ado, let's get into it. Let's go into the biggest one of all because it's the biggest esport, League of Legends. We just got the roster announced. Jordan, if you said you were going to explain that a bit.
Yeah. So what a way to announce the League of Legends roster. I thought it was pretty cool. What did you guys think? I thought the picture with all of them, they all had their unique things. I thought that was really cool.
Remain as a legend.
Yeah, that was such a unique idea. And like Power of Evil with like his money chain and like Lemonation is like dressed up, and I just thought it was really good.
I liked how they had like a reasoning behind all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everything had a reason.
If anyone was gonna be Santa, it would be Hex. You know what I mean? Like, and then everyone had like
Yeah.
their own reason for being like that costume.
Change like the little elf.
Yeah,
Which is amazing.
I thought it was pretty dope. And then Arrow has the green arrow, you know. So I thought that was really cool. And so like if you guys don't know our roster lineup, it's Zig, Acadian, Power of Evil, Arrow, and Lemonation. So that's really exciting. I think it's gonna be an interesting season. I don't know how much you guys know about the roster at all. Do either of you know much about it?
Not too much.
Much at all.
I know there was a lot of talk about before because a lot of the players were leaked before,
Yeah.
and so everyone was talking about it because like I watch here and there big things, but I'm not sure of the overall scene how to compare to like other players in other regions. So
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. I guess we should start with Zig. He's our top laner. It's gonna be interesting, pretty good player. Gonna be interesting to see how he performs during the season. I'm excited for that one. Obviously Acadian, who they just had on the League of Legends podcast. That was really interesting to see him and Zabatine. Zabatine is the head coach, if you guys don't know that. Just hear their insights on how they formed the team and how they generated. I don't know. You guys also listened to the podcast, right? What did you guys think of that?
I did. I thought it was cool. Like they seem like good individuals. They seem to know their self. I did like how some of their views were like contrasting. So like you talk about like how their opinions on how to like go pro and whatnot and how to get into the scene. Acadian was like, you have to make a decision and then you have to go all in, and on the other end, Hex was even on the other end where like they were saying, well, like you want to have a backup plan too. And so I mean, I think that's good, like having different views on a team. You know what I mean? If everyone's in agreement, you could. And so in game, you can look at them. I also liked how they didn't want to say everything that was in game, like even small things. How they're like, oh well, we don't even want to say that we didn't like this matchup of that this team is playing because they could find out what that hero was and see that we don't like it. So like,
just out of respect. I think to see their views was very interesting how this team is formed because they placed a lot of emphasis on the chemistry and like team morale, I guess you could say, which is definitely underrated at times. Sometimes people just put together like massive rosters of extremely expensive players that are all like top tier, but like if they don't get along, then that roster is not going to do well no matter what. So
Phase.
yeah, so I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited. So Acadian, he seemed like such a genuine dude. I thought he hasn't been like pushing for pro very long. I mean, 4 years ago he was a silver player, so that's pretty impressive how quickly.
Do you know
he
what
moved
something
up
he
the
said?
ranks.
Do you know what he said? He's 20 and that he's been playing League of Legends for 8 years. Not like professionally,
Yeah.
But like, League of Legends 8 years old now. Like, dude, I
Yeah.
feel old now. Like, damn.
Yeah, pretty wild. So he's our jungler. He's gonna be jungling first, but I'm excited for Power of Evil. That's my favorite pickup, in my opinion. He's European, so I got a feel for the home crowd. But I really like him because I think he's a super strong mid laner, and I hope that the whole team, if we have a drop or pick up players, I hope we kind of build around him and that he's willing to stay because he even Faker during Worlds they beat Misfits who Power of Evil played for 3-2. So they almost beat SKT, and Faker had only positive things to say about um Power of Evil, and he actually he won lane against Faker, the best player in the world. So I think I'm really excited for him. I think he's going to be a great addition. I know there's been like talks about Power of Euros and stuff like that, but I think leave that in the past. Hopefully he's learned from it, and I mean I'm excited to see how he plays on the team. Do you know much about him, Ben?
I know nothing. Like
You know
I
absolutely nothing. Are you gonna
No,
watch the
nothing
series?
CS. Nothing is a CS player.
no. Right, no, I know absolutely nothing about League or Dota. Like, I put a tweet out the other day. Remain was like, what's everyone's thoughts on the rush? I was like,
No
I guess I
idea.
like lemon chicken and like elimination. So
He even
I'm
called
down.
it a
But like,
Dota.
I mean,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
called it Dota by accident. But like, I honestly, I kind of get the objective, but like coming down to fight versus fight, I will not be able to tell you who's gonna win. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Whereas like,
Mhm.
I just have no like insight into
Mhm.
League. I mean, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna try.
For
But
sure, but
It's
I
something
mean,
you
it's
have to
easier to
play.
get into than Dota because
yeah,
Dota's so complicated.
Yeah, for
I've been playing.
MOBAs, I feel like you actually have to play the game more. Whereas if you're watching CS, if you understand the objective, you can see who's shooting who
Yeah,
and how you're
exactly.
watching it.
But
Yeah,
like Dota and League, I just don't understand. I've been playing a bit of Dota every now and again. Sniper class because that's the only class I know how to do. So, but I've been given some guides, and I think I'm gonna try and learn it.
yeah. So I mean, you were talking about Lemonation. He's our support. I think this is the one position on our team that I'm very
Skeptical.
skeptical on, but it could work. Like if there's good chemistry, I mean, he's in such an important role there that kind of worries me. He's the oldest League of Legends player, and he's had a lot of success in the past. My worry is just where is he at right now, and how will he perform in the 2018 season, especially in such an important role. He's the support for us, and he'll be with the AD carry, who is who is it? Arrow, and so also Arrow being the import from what is it, South Korea?
Definitely not North.
My bad, almost said North. But I
That
think
would be
it's South
interesting.
Korea, right? But I think it's gonna be interesting if they play together well. I think there's a lot of potential, but that just kind of worries me. Is one, you already have that cultural difference, and two, support is super key. And if he pulls through, I think this roster can make some great moves. And if he doesn't, then it could be a rough, especially spring split for this year. So, I don't know what you guys think about that. Obviously, Ben doesn't
Was
know
that
anything.
Lemonation?
Lemonation, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, so I can't. I'm not gonna like try and spit out knowledge, but yeah.
I
Yes.
think they said that the first game is they couldn't say who it was against or anything, but they were able to tell us a date. I think they said the 20th.
It's 100 Thieves.
Ooh, that's gonna be
Yeah, they already released the schedule.
feisty
I can pull
match.
that up real quick. Yeah, I am excited, but I am weird. I think at the moment, especially with our lack of practice, the beginning of this split is kind of guaranteed to be kind of rough, especially with the teams that we're playing in the beginning. I think we're playing like some of the best teams in within the first like 2 weeks, 3 weeks of it. Because we play 100 Thieves. Let me see if I can find the schedule real quick.
While you're putting that up, Jordan,
It is, but I'm what?
while you're pulling that up, for the NALCS, where would you rank OpTic just based off players before anything within like a 3 position gap?
7th through 9th.
7th through 9th?
Yeah,
All right.
I think.
Pretty fair.
I don't think we'll come at the bottom, so I don't think we'll come 10th. But I think it's going to take a little bit of time for this team to develop. I think we have a lot of potential. I feel like the path we're taking is more the long path, though, for success. And I can appreciate that, not just shoveling money into it. So with that being said, it's going to be interesting. So I have the schedule here. So week 1, January 20th, we're playing 100 Thieves, and then January 21st, we're playing Liquid. So Liquid has shoveled a crazy amount of money into League of Legends this year, and that is going to be an interesting one. Then the next week, we play TSM and
Awesome.
FlyQuest. So, I mean, hopefully FlyQuest, we may be able to do something too. But then week 3, we have Cloud9. So it's going to be quite a rough beginning to the season. I'd say we're
Silver
playing
lining.
the top 3 teams guaranteed pretty much. TSM, Cloud9, and Liquid. I mean, that's not guaranteed top 3, but like in my opinion, I say those are kind of the top 3 teams that you're looking at. Obviously, 100 Thieves I think has a really strong roster. So
I think the silver lining of that, at least, is that we'll play some of the tougher teams up front and get that practice. And so, like,
yeah,
the beginning of any season, especially with a new team, you're like, okay, what are we doing wrong? And so we'll have that practice against these teams who we might lose against anyway. So
that's a really
good.
good point.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this roster, no matter like how much practice, I would be very surprised if we beat TSM consistently ever. I mean, you've got Bjergsen. I don't know how to say his name. You've got
Bjergsen.
Yeah, exactly. You've got that whole roster is just really good. And I know they made changes that could be a bit questionable, but I think going into it, it is good we're playing the hard teams because we won't have that much practice. Like you heard on the podcast, we definitely the first couple weeks are going to be a lot of practice because they just haven't had time with people all over the world. OpTic don't have the perfect setup in LA yet because they're brand new to the LCS. So I think it will take us a bit of time to get into that. So it's almost better that we're playing these worse teams later. But we've got to remember that as fans, you know? Like, we got to remember that we're playing some crazy good teams as a brand new team. Like, if we get creamed by Liquid, we just got to be like, okay, we're just beginning. Because that's week 1. We're playing Liquid. I mean, Double Lift is on Liquid now, and it's going to be an interesting ride. I'm excited, though.
Yeah, interesting. Like, we're getting into that point now where we're getting into like the second generation of like league players, where you heard like Katie and saying like he used to like look up like to Double Lift. He used to be like,
Yeah.
I think that's who he was talking about. I mean, like Double Lift, who's going to beat Double Lift before he was a pro, before he was like going at it. So like it's also interesting because like not only are there like other players, but they're also going against these people that have been doing it 4 years, and so some of the players like are also like younger too. But
Yeah.
I feel like as OpTic fans, like we do appreciate the long road, like the old CS team we liked because they weren't the best right away.
Even like our origins COD, we didn't come from like being the best 24/7, you know?
Yeah.
It took us a while and now
Yeah.
everyone's privileged, so we got third at an event and everyone freaks out. But yeah.
And then like with like when that happens with the COD or Halo team, when we lose, we're like, oh, what the hell? But like with other examples or with the Gears team, but like with the CS team, when we just had those 4 teams, the CS team didn't win every event, lost most events, but you know, people still liked them because it was the road, and every game was a challenge. It wasn't like, oh, I don't have to watch this game because we're gonna win. You were like sitting on the edge of your seat. Oh, we still have a chance to win. So I think it's something that the fans will be able to enjoy more than just winning all the time, which I'm going to be excited for at least.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
But I like I said, it was the 20th. You said was the first match.
20th, yep, and there's 2 games a week, so usually like the 20th and the 21st, you know. So yep, and there will be for 9 weeks of it, so 18 games.
Awesome. And then but we're just gonna wait on that.
Yeah. So not much more to say.
Yeah, the other new team that we got, whose league is also coming up, is the Overwatch League, or OWL, as I'm trying to get trending. But
think
It'll-
that's pushing it, but okay.
It'll catch on. Just keep referring to it as Owl. So I was watching Owl preseason, and we had two teams against. We were the underdogs in both.
Mhm.
And it was very interesting because, like, if you watch the World Cup, right, a lot of people are hyping up the World Cup because they have these new spectator features. First of all, Jordan, I know you were watching it. Ben, you didn't get a
Yeah.
chance, right? Because I think that may still been when you were away. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was away the day it started, and like I
Yeah.
tried to watch one game, but the internet was shitty. So
Okay, Jordan, I know I saw one of your tweets. How was a spectator? When you were spectating,
Yeah.
how was it?
Okay, so I don't know Overwatch incredibly well. I played it a tiny bit with my brother. I don't know it overly well. So, as like a spectator who's kind of casual, hasn't played much Overwatch, but understands the concept, it was definitely difficult to keep up with everything that was going on. Like, I felt like the cameras and like how it's laid out is kind of interesting. I feel like if you don't have a very deep knowledge of the game, it's hard to keep up with certain locations on the maps and things like that. Like in COD, the nice thing about it is everything's always first person and you rarely have different views. They're adding that a bit more in World War II, but they had different angles. Then you have different your different champions. I don't know what they're called in
Heroes.
Overwatch. Heroes, different heroes that do so many different things. So to like just a casual viewer, even if you know the heroes a bit, it becomes kind of like just like a fest of a mess. I don't even know how to explain it. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they improve over time as time goes on. I'm hoping it does become more spectator friendly. There's definitely worse spectator sports like I would say PUBG is very questionable as a spectator sport, but I think it's gonna be interesting to see how they evolve, and maybe as I get for me to understand it. But it was definitely hard. I don't know how you felt, but that's how I kind of.
So, when I was watching, so it's interesting because I play a lot of Overwatch like casually, where I know all the maps, I know all the characters, and so I feel like it's easy. I want to understand when you're watching it. Do you understand it except when it gets into the team fights? You're not sure what's happening because when I'm watching League or Dota, especially Dota, since I know even less of the characters or the champions or whatever. When there's a team fight, I don't know who's casting what spell, who's doing
Yeah.
what. Is that more the issue, or I think part of the issue in Overwatch might be the objective. So if it's a payload, there's different parts of the map and it's moving.
Yeah.
Is that the problem? Do you think?
It's definitely a mix of both. I definitely think when they do all just go in and start using things, I'm like, what the heck is going on? But that's definitely something I can learn a bit more over time. But I think part of it does have to do with the perspective being in 3D. Like they're trying to keep up with everything that's going on. The nice thing is it's just a top-down view, and you can kind of see what's going on, and like everyone gets the same kind of angle, so it's a bit easier to keep up. While like in Overwatch, if you're like inside of an objective, like I don't remember. I think the final map against the Dallas Fuel, I don't remember. There was like one part of the map that was like underneath something, and like the cameras were all over the place. I was like, I have no idea what's going on in the objective because like it's in 3D, so you don't get like a total view of everything sometimes. So I think it'll be interesting to see how they work around that and maybe find new strategies for different maps.
Yeah. So that's one thing. I think I know what part you were looking at. So I
can
think
I just say that quickly? With the Overwatch League like thing, one thing I do know is it's similar. It's not just like an FPS, whereas you can like CS or COD. You just put run and shoot. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
there's different lanes. It's kind of like if it's the closest thing I'd say to like League and CS mix. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
they
like
just kind of put them
different
together.
characters, different like positions, different strats, different like. It's like you gotta understand the characters before you can understand the game really, and it's not too difficult, but it's a lot harder than like CS or something.
Yeah,
it's actually a very interesting point. Whereas you could understand the game of like most MOBAs, and then you watch team fights, you might not understand, but you'll know when one team is winning. But it's very interesting that you bring up like knowing the
Yeah.
characters first because obviously you can understand the payload, but
Yeah.
I just find that pretty interesting. That's a good point you bring up.
Mhm.
But when I was watching it, if you do understand what's going on, they have made a lot of changes. So you see that like the team colors, everyone has their own team colors and whatnot.
Mhm.
But so that makes it a lot easier but as far as like how the team is actually doing, they seem pretty good. So in the Overwatch World Cup, we have 3 of the players that are on the
Yeah.
World Cup team, and so everyone was pretty like excited. I know a lot of people are when they're ranking the teams, they're actually putting the Outlaws up there with like the top 3 or 4 teams, as well with the Seoul and Seoul Dynasty and Dallas Fuel,
Mhm.
and
Like the Spitfires.
yeah. And we played against those 2 teams, and I think they both ended in 3-1.
No, we lost to the Dallas Fuel 3-2, right?
Oh yeah.
Because we
Oh
went
yeah.
to the
yeah.
tiebreaker map, and then
The one.
so
Well, it wasn't tiebreaker map. That
Wasn't
was
it?
no the one. I forget which one it was. Is that we drew in one map.
Yeah, we drew against Seoul Dynasty
Yeah.
because we lost 2 maps to Seoul Dynasty, 1-1, and then drew.
Yeah.
And then the Dallas Fuel game, we won map 1, lost map 2 and 3, won map 4, and then lost map 5. Yeah, lost map 5.
That
So
one.
that was yeah.
I thought I must gotten them mixed up the scores, but the way we like played in each game was pretty close. So like if you watch the World Cup, we won one map, and the 2 of the games that we lost were extremely close, and we actually had the lead in each one. So coming into it, people were like hyping up the team because like they almost 3-0'd South Korea. And in these games, it was very similar, where there were small things where they just got outplayed, or a couple mistakes where they could have turned around. So I'm very hopeful for it. And another thing is, we may not be able to look too much into this because we are also like the teams were like throwing in players after every game where they might not have substitutions, which is really weird because we see that in some games.
We did the same as well, though. Yeah, we didn't even have Mendo for our first game.
Yeah, because there's weird things with his passport where he like leave and then come back in or something.
Yeah.
And I believe the fans like actually helped him get that, so he was able to play.
Yeah. It was interesting. I mean, like the Dallas Fuel game, we almost took like in game 5, Mat 5, sorry. We won round 1 100% to 99%, and then lost round 2 100% to 99%. So I mean, it was close.
Yeah.
So that was a fun last map to watch.
Bringing that up, we were talking about the spectator experience. I think another problem is that I've always had this problem even playing Overwatch. How did you feel about like I believe it was a Seoul you got a chance to watch against when we played Dynasty? There was the one map, I believe it was the last one, right? Where there's 4 game modes, so it's a best of 4, so you have to win 3. And there's also a draw aspect, so teams can draw. And in the last map, if anyone doesn't watch Overwatch, I'll explain it, and then for you guys to understand too. So it's a best of 4. There's 4 game modes, and in the payload maps, there's different like checkpoints you could hit, and there's a time bank. So if you get through the map and you have time left over, the other team goes. If they have time left over, then each team uses their remaining time to try getting through the map again. Then what usually happens is if they end it at one point, the next team has to get to that point with time left. But if they both expire, then then both teams get another chance. So what ended up happening is OpTic had it was a while ago, but I believe they were able to make it through without time left, and then the other team was not able to make it past. They got it in overtime, I believe. So OpTic had time remaining, and so there was one rule that they changed in a while because they could track percentages. Technically, it's a tied game, and OpTic has more time, so all they have to do is capture 1%, and they'd capture more percent of the map, if that makes sense. But they make it so you have to get the first tick, and they weren't able to do that with their on the first point. They weren't able to do that with the time left remaining, and now that it happened in the Overwatch League, although it was a preseason, I know a lot of people on Twitter that don't watch it competitively that were watching were confused. Like, why didn't OpTic win?
Right. Yeah.
When you were watching that, did that confuse you? Because
I just was honestly like, I don't know what's going on, but we lost. So GG. Well.
Yeah. And the other thing, it was also a drawn map, and I just don't think it's right for a team to be able to lose on a draw. I know it's a best of 4, but if they're trying to make this, if they're trying to make the spectator experience a little bit better, I think they should make it
I
where
don't like the idea of draws. I feel like they should just replay the map.
yeah, I do too. Instead of having a draw in game 2 and then going to a different map in game 5, you replay that game mode. I think it's weird, and I hope that come season 1 they fix that. I don't like the draw experience. I know some people
Yeah.
are like, oh well, we have time bank for a reason. But I also think if a team finishes with more time, the games last so long as it is.
Mhm.
And then it gets confusing. Not only is it hard for people to spectate in general, but then with the rules, like I had to wait for people to explain, and I watch it pretty frequently, but I had to wait for them to explain because I wasn't even sure. So it's just
Yeah,
it's just weird.
I think it's interesting. Like in COD, in CTF, if you go through all the overtime and you're still tied, then you just redo the map. Same with like Halo, same with any of those game modes. And I think it works fine. Sometimes you have really long series, but not that often. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of ties either, but it is what it is.
Yeah. But as far as the team looks good. A lot of people are putting them in their like top 4.
Tough.
I-
Yeah.
Um,
4 through 6.
even though like most people are like putting them in the middle of the pack, like a lot of people are saying like, no, this team like, even though they're going up against the Koreans and whatnot, and other like Eastern players, like they're looking at them like very highly. So we just have to look towards the future. I know, like I said, teams weren't trying all their strats. They said before preseason they're not going to try everything.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for the actual opening league. I know they got a lot of caster talent from like other games. They're paying him really well. It seems like they're treating him well.
Semler.
Mr. X from Call of Duty.
Semler from CS.
Puckett as well.
Yeah.
Rest
Oh,
in
really?
peace. Yeah.
Puckett's been like in every game now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, no.
he is the face of MLG.
He was doing a podcast with Thor about CS and like Furio. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He knows all. He is all knowing, omniscient.
He's like Machine, but just like I want to say better, but no, he's not.
When I first started
You know.
watching esports and like MLG, I thought like his voice and his persona was great. So I understand why like they want him other
Yeah.
places. But
I
speaking of
thought
Call,
Puckett and Jay were the same person, to be honest, for a bit.
get out of here.
No, I did.
But speaking of Call of Duty,
CWL Dallas, not
Dallas.
MLG Dallas. It was hosted by MLG, but it's called CWL Dallas.
CWL Dallas by MLG.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
MLG
CWL
Dallas.
Birmingham.
Well, CWL Dallas Open, if we want to be completely like correct.
guys,
but
The
not
COD
Dallas.
World League Dallas Open by MLG.
What an event! I don't know how much you guys watched, but I watched a ton.
I watched quite a bit. I was able to watch more of the later days, which is when everyone cares. So,
Yeah, you watched them when they were weak.
it was such weird. I've never seen a team do this, right? I've seen teams like look strong and then finish weak. So I'm like, yeah, they just kind of hold against the best competition and whatnot. But I don't know. I just felt like different here because like I wasn't able to catch all the pool play matches, but they did well in their pool play matches. They went through, and then they played against Red Reserve was the first one, and they started out super weak in the hard point, and I think that's the one where they brought it back where they're like 10 points away from losing and they almost won.
Yeah, and then they won the series 3-1.
Yeah, and so I was scared. I'm like, okay, they won their S&D, fluke game, right?
Yeah.
Then they played against Splice for the first time, and even though we won, I felt like Splice was a
Every time
better
we play
team.
Splice, we go down 2-1. Every single time.
Splice are
I
a good
cannot even
team.
tell you. And then every time we win 3-2. It happened so many times in Infinite Warfare. It was actually stupid. And then it happened again here.
It's just so weird because like it didn't make sense. I think we lost that hard point, then we won the S&D. We played 2 series against them. But like the whole game was backwards, and I remember even thinking about it. I'm like, they just look like the better team. And
Yeah. I think
go on.
I think it had to do with the meta shift when you go to LAN. It happens every single time at the first event. LAN plays different to online. Teams try to adjust to it as quick as possible, and some teams just have that play style that can adjust quickly. We saw in TK. Do I think TK has potential to win more events? Yes. Do I think they will? I would be surprised. I
Not
think
bad, TK.
I will be very impressed if Chino and Accuracy keep up their performance. I think Kenny is insanely talented. I'm not saying the other guys aren't. I think Chino, Accuracy, all of them are extremely talented, but Kenny's
Just left out Theory.
wild, dude. I think obviously Theory as well, but I don't know. I could see them definitely in top 3. I'm gonna be interested to see if they win the event.
I'm
I
not
think
sure if you saw how they won though, dude. They won clearly. Like it wasn't even close against OpTic. Like
they did not win clearly against OpTic in any way, shape, or form. It was we easily could have had map 1 and 2, like so easily.
Okay.
We lost map 1, 250 to 234. And then we lost map 2, 6-5.
Yeah, but they were winning in the hard point in the beginning.
Yeah, they were winning.
We had to bring it back
If
in as soon as we took the lead again. Then they got the rotation and they held it again. And then so many times we just couldn't fish it out on the last steal because they were too close.
But it was an extremely close map. We could have easily taken that map.
They were winning,
especially if we didn't come out.
TK was
cold.
leading most of the map.
Yeah, they were, but we could have definitely taken that map.
I'm just saying.
We only lost by 16 seconds, and then we lost 6-5 in the S&D. We got demolished in CTF though. Like that map wasn't even close. But I definitely, even if we didn't take both of those maps, if we take one of them, then the next map is hardpoint, and we already heated up in the first hardpoint, and definitely think we could have maybe seen something from that. So I'm not saying we would have. I'm just saying that series, in my opinion, was a lot closer than people make it out to be. Now the second series against Splice, we just got like, besides the NCTF, we got bent over. Like it wasn't close. Like it hurt to watch.
It pissed me off watching that.
Yeah, that frustrated me. So I think it's weird because we started off the weekend with awful S&D. We lost 3 out of 3.
That's why it was so
S&Ds
weird.
in the beginning.
And then we were winning S&Ds.
And then we were winning our S&Ds, and we hadn't dropped a hard point or a CTF. And then we get to winners bracket, and then we start playing our respawns really badly. And I really just think it was the meta shift as the weekend evolved, and I think it's just the first event. It's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, we still placed 3rd, so that's still a great showing. That's still a bronze, so I mean that's still good. The guys won't be happy with that, but I mean, we need to also work on our pick and bans. I don't know if you guys saw that, but even Scum said they almost had ego picks. Like they're like, we want to prove that we can be good on this map. I'm like, don't prove it. Just pick the map that you know you can win on.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
Especially
I should have proved that they can win the event rather than play maps. You know what I mean? It's I prefer. Yeah.
I think what I heard someone say is that they heard OpTic say that they wanted to pick maps that the other team wasn't sure on either. But I mean, like, what's the one map? Saint Martin or something?
Saint Mary du Mont.
Yeah, whatever the name of that map is. Yeah. Like they had 100% win rate, and maybe it's something they didn't see. But TP, although he was announced, he was there and he was able to see that kind of stuff. The pick and bans were absolutely atrocious, but there were some things going into it. They thought they were great on London Docks CTF. That was like the best game mode.
They were pretty good over the weekend.
And then they got like demolished in it. I think that was CTF that they lost to against Splice.
Splice and TK.
Yeah, and like I don't know. Is S&D their best game mode now? Yeah, in other games they used to struggle on S&D, but be good on
Definitely not.
But then
I think
in like Advanced Warfare,
trash.
and Advanced Warfare kind of swapped, and now this game, I have no idea, absolutely none. I don't think they do either. Well, they probably have better ideas.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I think all the game modes need improvement. I don't think there's any standout where I'm like, that is definitely the best. I'm like, that's by far the worst. I think definitely some of our challenges in S&D, we definitely challenge angles that I'm like, why are you challenging that? Like, don't just hold the angle and just wait,
Did you guys see Envision? They like seemed really like heated. I'm sure like they're not upset with each other because they kind of understand how each other work.
I saw that. Yeah.
But they're getting like Damien, why weren't you like here doing this? So then
I think that's in every team though.
Yeah, that happens all the time in OpTic, but still.
Yeah, I'm just saying like they were like frustrated. They're frustrated. Like so, I don't think they're like mad at each other like actually, but like you could see like they're angry. And next event, like they said multiple times, they hate losing more than they love winning, and
Yeah.
they love winning. So just imagine how much they hate losing.
Yeah. Sorry. Also, TK, we lost them on Flag Tower CTF.
So both of you guys don't think TK is going to win another one?
I think they could. I think they have the talent to do it. I don't think they.
Don't think they will.
Yeah, I've said that. We tried to record one last week, and I said the same thing. I don't think they will. Just that'll be the last event.
All right. I think they'll have better showing than Rise did last year. Rise like won the event and then completely disappeared. But I think with Luminosity heating up, I think with Splice in town, I think with OpTic doing a bit better, and then obviously the meta change last night. I think they're gonna lose a lot of their AR presence that they had. They were definitely very talented with the FG42 and playing around that really well. With that out of the meta, or at least a lot out of the meta, it's gonna be interesting to see how it shifts. And I don't think it's going to suit them as well.
It's interesting you bring that up because I heard Envision they were talking, and it seemed like they were sticking with one thing, and they said that they couldn't like keep up with like TK and Splice's like SMG play, and so
Yeah.
it almost seemed like they decided not to counter that. They stuck to one play style. I'm not 100% sure what their split was in there, if they were running three, if they switched to three SMGs or what. But I know that's what like I believe it was like Splice was doing. They just weren't prepared for it.
Yeah, I was actually watching scrims last night and they had TP. Sorry, we haven't even mentioned that. Did we mention that?
I brought it.
joined, by the way, guys.
TP joined
brought it
OpTic
up.
Gaming.
I brought
Okay.
it up. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, TP joined OpTic Gaming as an analyst and coach. I'm stoked for that. That's gonna be so exciting.
I always love TP.
I was watching them in scrims last night, and the input he was giving them was extremely good. And he is someone who they respect, but he's also willing to just like talk to them and be like brutally honest. Like last night, Scump was complaining because connection, and he hated playing FG42s. And he worded it so funny. Scump's like, I can't deal with this, and TP was just like, okay, just get over it and like try and think of it in a positive way. And Scump's like, I can't deal with this. He's like, it's too bad. And then TP was like, I know, deal with it and get over it. And I'm like,
'Cause
geez. He'll talk to them like honestly.
Teep had to deal with it because like he lived on the West Coast when everyone was on the East Coast. He's dealt with
Yeah.
like bad connection, and Teep is like extremely smart. He had like a series. His YouTube was never that great, like that big, but like he had a series where he'd like break down stuff, and he's like extremely intelligent. He knows how the game
Yeah.
works, and he knows the in and outs.
He was giving them great input.
And I think having him there is one, he's teamed with everyone except Formal before.
Yeah.
And I think having the other person, when all of them are players, even if you have one person shot calling, having the other people there, and you know, like someone being a player, like you gotta do this, right? You're gonna have that defense mechanism that says, "Oh no, I'm not in the fault here." You know what I mean? Even at least some of the time. So having someone in that power position that's gonna say like, "You messed up, you messed up, you messed up. He did this right." I think that's gonna be really great. And having someone who is a world championship, who's played with the best, who's played with all of them.
I'm stoked. I honestly think he's gonna bring just so much because their egos, I think, can get to them sometimes, and just bringing that neutral, like unbiased opinion is gonna be great.
And it's Teep, you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah,
it's so weird because like he always seems super nice, but like I don't know, like so you know he's gonna be like
Could be
when he's honest,
serious.
he's honest. Yeah, he could be serious and like, ooh, I'm hype. I am. But yeah, so do we know when the next event is?
That would be NOLA,
4 weeks away, wasn't
New
it?
Orleans, sometime like that. Let me
Yes.
check the date.
So
It was like 20 something days away, I think. It's like
the meta is already changing. They're already working on their
the
stuff.
12th of January.
12th of
Yeah.
January. January is gonna be a big month for like everything.
Yeah, we got Overwatch League on the 10th, New Orleans on the 12th, Dota on the 15th, NALCS on the 20th, Mexico City Open for the Giz on the 26th, and then in February we've got Halo.
there's a possibility that the CST could be at the major.
So should
Very
we
small.
transition to CS?
Yeah.
Very smooth, very smooth.
So smooth.
You mentioned this. Explain
Let
this
us
to me.
know, dude. Tell us.
Right. So basically, Peacemaker and another team actually. I've just found out on the Reddit. Let me get the post up. it's in the daily discussion, but two teams are having troubles with visas, and instead of having a sub, they may just like forfeit completely, which
He's gonna
means there's
forfeit
two.
the major.
So, well, if they're gonna play like with 4 players, they're gonna have to forfeit because Peacemaker said there's some transparency issue, and he can't play. He might not be able to play for Ty Lue, which is weird. So, Quantum Bellafire and Ty Lue may have to forfeit. Flash Gaming could get one, but again, their visa issues might play a part. And obviously, did we come like last in the major qualifier?
I'm not sure if he came last, but it doesn't matter because if it's from that region, if that teams from that region don't make it, don't they usually give it to the next team from that region's minor?
But it's way too soon for any other team to get a visa now. Like they'd have to get one today.
Oh, true.
Because like it is a month away, the major. So let me just get the major up.
So why would they choose OpTic?
Because they're gonna easily be able to get visas to the United States.
But why wouldn't they give it to like an NA team?
They could do actually, yeah. They could give it to the Immortals guys aren't there. Rip. Oh, we placed third. No, we didn't. My bad. Let me try and get it up on Liquipedia, but yeah, because we've got visas or something, there's a very small chance that we could still go to the major.
If there's 2 spots open, I guess what you can do is take. I guess the fairest opportunity would be like, hey, all the other regions, we're gonna have a mini playoff thing, top 2 teams.
Yeah.
But even then, it's kind of weird. So I wouldn't be banking on that, to be honest.
Right, I'm just gonna check the minor. Oh yeah, we were one. Yeah, we were third in the minor, weren't we? So we were 1 spot off the major. And if Quantum Bellafire, which is a CIS team, we could actually make it. That's a high chance, like compared to what I thought. Because I forgot they don't have the major qualifier anymore. It's straight to the major.
Okay.
So there's probably about a 5% chance, probably less, that they could get to the major still.
But who knows? I mean, I'd love it.
Yeah.
Okay, but
It'd be amazing if we could. But...
even if we get to the major, I'm not sure if we even perform that well. Because I know they just placed.
Yeah.
What was it? Like 4th, 5th?
Yep.
ESL?
6th and 7th, wasn't it, for both tournaments?
6th,
ESL
7th.
and ECS. Now I know I keep on saying that, but I can believe it. They got new rules. I did think they'd do better with ECS, but look who they lost to. They lost to a team that went on to play second, a very close second to FaZe, which was an insane grand final if you didn't see ECS. It was one well worth watching, a great end to the year, great tournament. But they played 6th to 7th, I think it was. Let me get it up.
Which one? ESL are we talking
Oh,
about?
5 to 6. 5 to 6. We're talking about ECS first, sorry.
ECS first?
Yeah. So in ECS, they did place 5 to 6th, which is technically, like, closer
Second
to
last.
last than, yeah. Second, third or fourth to last.
Because we didn't make out groups, right? Who was our
yeah,
group?
in our group, it was Mouse, it was Luminosity, and it was Fnatic. We beat Mouse 16-4. That was a Mirage. We then lost to Fnatic 16-2 on Cobble. And then we lost to Mouse 16-7 and then 16-12. And then Mouse went on to make an insane run and fucking get to the final.
Yeah, that was wild.
Take FaZe to like 3 overtimes in the final.
Throwback to when OpTic had the potential to do that.
Oh no, Mouse are literally like OpTic's position last year. I mean, because can you imagine if one of their players leaves after the major? That'd be an exact like repeat of OpTic.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was seeing in the Discord the other day in the OpTic Discord is oh wait, first sorry, ESL Pro League where I got to meet them. Of course, that was insane. Just recapping it quick. I was in the line doing this documentary thing for ESL, I think. It's on Hulu soon, and I was stood in the line for the signing, and Chet walks up to me and goes, "Hey Ben, come with me." I'm like, "What the fuck?" I fell in love and other players were there, so I got to speak with them for a bit. They're super chill. They said they were going to end the year on a high, and to be honest, it was quite high. They only lost to like the 2nd place, so it's not too bad. But they did go out 5th to 6th in ESL,
But
after losing
how
to
did they
Fnatic.
lose to that team though? Do you think that's enough? Because we saw in one vision where they're like, yeah, well, depending on these two events, we're probably maybe going to have a roster change if we suck. If not, you know what I mean? So
I hope that is honestly.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're on about, and yeah, if they make a roster, then
do you
they
think
make
their
a roster.
performance?
I don't think they're gonna make a roster move because
You
of the
don't.
changes, but they could.
I think they will.
Chet
Jor-
posted tweet longer. Did you read it?
Yes.
I didn't see it. Sum it up for me.
Basically, what's it called? So Chet said about the end of the year, they've only had like a week to practice before ESL and ECS with the new lineup, like with the new rules. I mean, they're gonna recap it in the new year, practice some more, try and get better. And if nothing comes of it, they're gonna look at changing. Pretty much, they said they're gonna recap everything, and then they're gonna see where they like lead off from there. It could mean to changes. It could mean to a new coach, a new player, but you know, they're just gonna see where it takes them in the new year.
Okay, so Jordan, you think there will be a roster change?
I do.
Ben, roster change?
I hope not,
But what do you think?
and I don't know. I think no. I'm just gonna say that.
You think
I don't
no?
think they will. Yeah, I think no.
Okay, I think they should. Do I think there's going to be one? I was going to say yes, but then after you said that, it kind of sounded like they're going to wait till another event. But at what point are they going to be like, oh, one more event, one more event, one more event?
I think Hex will not allow that. I think Hex is starting to rule with an iron fist a bit more, and I think he's going to push for a roster change. That's why I think a roster change is going to happen.
I don't think he is because like he knows they're trying everything they can. They've not tried everything yet. They're a new team.
You could
still.
tell though on Vision that he wasn't exactly.
He didn't recap Vision like with the after the recent changes like of the
Yeah,
roles.
but he was like, these next two events, if they don't do better, there will be roster changes.
That's pretty much what it was a couple visions ago. But yeah, how they perform.
Can I just say that quickly as well? Before we start moving on to like how they perform and stuff, roster change, I think that there could be a roster change depending on who moves where, as in like team wise.
Yeah.
So if Maus have like bomb out of the major, you know, go out and make a roster change, we could be looking to pick up like a Rops or a Sunny, which would be insane.
That's a good
Just
point.
because
when is the major?
the major's end of January.
So we might actually wait until after then, because
We will.
Yeah.
Unless we pick up Dennis, which is just like an impulse buy almost. You know, they kind of need. I don't know. I'm torn.
So
But I'd like them to see them get Rops, so HS is another Estonian on the team.
So we mentioned ECS. Didn't ESL come first?
Yeah, yes, I'll confess. Sorry.
Okay. So I just want to make sure because I want to compare our performances at two. So it looked like we performed better at ESL than we did at ECS. Just play wise, I caught more matches from ESL, so I'm only looking some matches. I'm only looking at the stats. But even at ESL, I think there's one of the two teams. Oh yeah, NIP and North, right? So we weren't sure. Like people were expecting it to be like SK, NIP, North, and then OpTic maybe. You know what I mean? Misfits and NRG did really well, and what ended up happening is we beat everyone, including SK, except NIP and North, who came in last. The only wins were against each other.
Dude, sorry to interrupt, but Ricky's leaving next threat. Just caught the update real quick.
Damn.
Oh, dude, I actually saw like a Twitter
just tweeted
picture.
about that.
I actually saw a Twitter picture from them earlier today. I'm like, I can't believe Ricky's on that team. He's probably gonna leave, and he did.
He did. So anyway, continue with what you guys were talking about.
Yeah, but like how they lost. I mean, like,
can I just say that Fnatic better 3 was so close. Like they almost had it. Like one of the last rounds, they had a force buy, and it was 15-14. Oh no, it's 15-13. They managed to take it, and they literally just had to win another round. Oh, wait, I'm trying to think. No, they had like a good buy heading into the last round, and then like they lost or something, and it was.
Yeah,
It was just such a
that's
close
the point.
best of
They
three.
lost. That's the
Oh,
point though.
damn.
And I know,
Shut down.
I know, but dude, like there's clutch moments. That's part of it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
some players are going in clutch moments. So if that's the weakness, if it's like, oh wow, they're always so close, but every single clutch scenario they lose. Well, there's players that are better in clutch scenarios. Maybe we need to get one of them.
HS played so good that series, I must say.
I like.
29 kills on the last map.
I'm kind of worried for Mixwell, TBH.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Not that he'll leave. Just I feel like we haven't seen that star performance from him in a long time, and like he's been going between thing and rifling. I was
Well-
hoping that when he was up, he'd be like really impressive, but it's been like kind of questionable. And I don't know. I'm not like obviously I don't think he should be dropped. I'm just saying that like if he keeps playing like this, at some point that's gonna come into the picture much more like
Or maybe he'll
realistic.
leave.
I mean, his recent stats are pretty. They're varied.
Yeah.
Like, of course, when we've lost, like, it generally is when we lose, he puts down a bad performance.
Yeah.
But I think there will be roster change. I think we've seen enough from this team where even when they improve some parts, there's not enough. And although the players might be great, I like Alu might be great on a team, right? But maybe it doesn't mix well with us. Maybe HS just doesn't mix. I said mix well. Doesn't work with this team. You know what I mean? So even though they're great players, I think it just doesn't work well. I mean, on a lot of teams, you hear OpTic and Hex stress chemistry. You know what I mean? In all teams, and I think the chemistry in this team just isn't working.
Yeah.
And
agree.
I think after the major, we will be able to see some other players that are available and be able to make a trade in some sort and hopefully improve from there.
We'll see. Yeah. To be honest, it's all going to come down to who's free when. Because like
It really
we-
does, yeah.
Well,
Like-
it might not even because don't forget about trades, right? If there's another team, like let's say Mouse is like, oh well, we're good, but like I just feel like there's that thing missing. I really wish we had like I'm just gonna pick someone at random, not trying to pick on anyone. Like Alu, I wish we had like
Alu. I knew you were gonna say it.
alphabetically.
So random.
Alphabetically. But
HS. I'm joking.
but let's say like they say, oh, like we want Alu, and we just feel like we're not meshing well with some of our players. We can do a trade which will benefit both teams. So it's not just who's available. If we're talking about chemistry wise,
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a change in that. Hex before. I mean, it was interesting that you think that Hex is getting stricter because a big criticism of Hex is that people always said, "Oh, well, Hex is he cares too much about them and he doesn't want to like kick anyone off a team."
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you think he's going to be ruling more with an iron fist. Now he
And
has
it's all less because of his choice, but a lot to do with he's
Infinite.
now. Yeah, he's not. So he doesn't even have a majority anymore. He's not funding it more like independently through sponsorships and stuff like that. So like he has to take it less of like, oh, this is a family field, more I have to be able to show that
this
there's
team
like
is going to win.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It all just comes down to timing, though. I reckon. Like, who's free when, how good we're doing at that point. Like, we got CS Summit coming up soon. That's in February, just after the major. So I reckon that'll be a good indication of Well, we'll
Our
know
new
by then,
team.
to be honest.
Of
Yeah.
our new team.
Yeah, yeah. No, we'll know by then. So yeah, but yeah, as for CS goes, it's all up in the air. A big break, so the guys can, if they are staying together, which I hope they do, they can just recoup and get them back on track and go kick some ass next year. If
Okay.
we're the same team.
Ben, I'm going to ask this because you're kind of indecisive. If we have to drop one player, right? Who?
Don't.
He's met them all. He's like,
Yeah, I know. I'm like, come on.
Okay,
dude.
okay.
to them.
Okay, if we had to keep 4 players.
No,
Okay,
right. But,
You're not saying they deserve. You're just saying not that they're worse.
Right,
You're just
yeah,
saying
yeah,
that
yeah.
how they fit in the team.
to be honest, I kind of think if we could get a better in-game leader,
That's understandable.
I would prefer if, even if I'm a pet left, even though I don't want him to.
Definitely don't want him to.
No, because he's such an insane coach.
He
But
really is.
maybe the best situation would be for me. I'm a pet moves to analyst Freiburg moves to coach, and then we get like someone.
Freiburg
Bill
doesn't want to stop
Freiburg.
competing though.
No.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's
No,
true.
I wouldn't even want Freiburg as a coach, to be honest. Do you guys know who I'd want off the team?
Who?
That's a question. You guys have to.
I would go Alu.
Ben, who do you think?
Mixwell.
Okay, you're just saying that because you know it's not going to be next well. I'm not sold on Freiburg yet. I think HS, he gets a lot of criticism. I think he's kind of like the NAF player of this team.
HS recently has been playing insane with his new
That's what I'm
role.
saying.
He could do insane things. Like that's one to keep.
HS is like NAF, and I'm going to explain them. Do you know how some people are like, oh, well, if this person shows up, those two are like the epitome of if
Yeah.
they
I
show
miss
up,
NAF, dude. I miss NAF so much.
if
I like
they're
it.
there,
Renegades, like
NAF and HS have such a potential, but there's such a gap where they could be like top tier. They could be middle of the pack, or they could be all the way down here. And it's like it's almost like the team of VP. Sometimes they're world contenders, and sometimes they're just last place in the league. But
yeah.
but yeah,
I mean, talking about leagues, actually, the CS team might have to go down to Premier, which is, I think, is it Mountain Dew League or is it? I think I remember speaking with someone, and it's just Mountain Dew League, so
yeah,
they might have to go down one.
because they're playing in A, they want to play in EU. So do they have to go through
Right.
Do they have to go through an entire season?
They will do, yeah, they will.
Uh,
I mean, we'll find out soon. That's
It's
if they
worth
choose
it,
to.
I guess, at the end of the day.
Unless who's in the relegation and promotions coming up soon, so they might just ball out and just fucking buy a spot because
Why
they
not?
have their money.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
And maybe that's the only way to keep some players,
Maybe.
true. Because they want to go through lands, they want to compete, and then we won't get as much practice even though it's online. But
Yeah.
that's CS. Jordan, you want to talk about gears at LG?
All right, we're gonna make this pretty quick because, I mean, it wasn't too complicated. Gears, we went in, we won.
Oh, surprise!
The games were good.
Now was
there
this
was a lot-
was this the event? Didn't we like 14-0 like 2 teams straight, and then didn't we
Yeah.
lose in
We
groups?
lost our first game.
Yeah.
Our first match, and I was like, "Whoa!" Icy's first
Oh.
event back with Icy. I was like, "Whoa, what is happening?"
Was
like,
it was
did
it
I-
against Echofox?
No, it was against some other team.
Oh, Echofox who played in the finals, right?
Not a great team. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's beef between Echo Fox and OpTic, and then Ghost and OpTic, like real like going at Icy and like personal insults and stuff. So I'm assuming that was pretty good for them, but pretty much OpTic came out. There was some worries in the beginning, but shaky. Then they went on to destroy. Had some good final games. Made a crazy comeback on one of the maps. What was it?
They were down 7-0 at one
they were-
point.
They were down. You win by 7.
Or no,
Yeah,
They were down
6-0.
5-0. They were down
Yeah,
5-0
I'm sorry.
and won 7-5. So that was a great way to finish.
I remember seeing that match.
The
I think that's the
tournament.
match that I did.
And really, they played well. They definitely apparently weren't doing so well online, but again, they won the 2K this past weekend. So, gears are gears. There's not much you can really
Oh.
say just because they're so good.
With that TK, did you TK? With that GB? No, 2K. That's it. With
Ben.
with that 2K, did you guys see apparently Jordan, not Jordan, you're Jordan, Gilbert,
Are you okay,
Explosive.
Ben?
yeah, fine, Explosive, had his dog chew through his wires, and
Oh
apparently
my
his screen
goodness.
was lagging and stuff, and he couldn't play, but they still won.
That is hilarious. What a way to go. And
Like the Blackbird guy who runs the Twitter now was saying in the Discord the other day. That's pretty funny.
yeah, that's hilarious.
Interesting. But yeah, so I kind of mentioned it earlier, like when we have teams that like Halo and Gears that just like win, all they do is win no matter what.
All they do is win, win, win.
No matter what.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of like okay, it's used to it. I've never seen 2 teams like I'm really interested in Halo, how like these teams actually Halo as of recent it has been closer do so well. Speaking of which, I'm not sure we talked about like there's been like a huge like concern with like the Halo like scene. And now weren't two players from like OpTic Halo going to go compete at CW
Yeah,
in
they were
Dallas?
going to, but like one was sick, and then like things got complicated, and they didn't do it.
It
But
was Snakebite and someone else, I remember.
Snakebite,
Was it going to be Snakebite, who's the
Snakebite, Snipe Down,
long hair dude?
Spartan,
Long
and
hair
they were
dude.
looking for a third.
Oh, yeah, I remember it.
I mean, a
Fourth.
fourth.
Yeah.
Everyone
I
relax,
remember
okay?
But yeah, because like remember like in Ghosts when a bunch of the Halo people came over, like there's been like a lot going on with like Halo as of how it's going to be.
Yeah.
MLG are back though, so it's all Gucci.
Yeah, but
Yeah. So that's kind of where Gears is at, still dominating. So yeah.
But I think that's kind of it for this episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna have one around.
Wait, PUBG.
What happened with that?
What's up with PUBG?
Well,
There's not much. They qualified for one thing
They
online.
qualified.
There were 5 days for them to qualify. They qualified last. They made it in, and then they came 12th.
The last team, who is Dota. Did we speak about them?
Okay.
Sorry, no.
Dota, they have been messing around with teammates. Quick rundown. Saska, is that how you say his name? Whatever his name is in our fifth at the moment. He was just filling in. They just posted
There
on
we go.
Twitter that they are deciding on their fifth today. Maybe Universe. That's been the drama on Twitter. Universe used to play for EG. Gonna be interesting. We'll talk about that more when it happens, though.
Yeah, we can't really talk about that right now, just because we don't know how the team's going to be. We can't really evaluate the team. But yeah,
Fair enough.
So next episode we're gonna have around the holidays closer. We're gonna be talking about the 2018 season. So we'll see you then, and till next time, guys. See ya.
Good boy.
I don't know what to do, bye.